Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today I want to walk you through my weekends routine. As someone on 9 to 5, the only time that I allow myself to completely unwind and relax is during the weekend. Even though I could use this time as flexible as I want, I really make a conscious effort to stay productive. So over the course of a few months, I've adopted specific habits and routines that keeps me on the track and avoid being lazy. But here's the thing. I'm not gonna say and be like, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and then I'm going down to the kitchen and making my perfect, gorgeous, beautiful matcha. And then I'm doing a 10-minute meditation, checking out my 500 emails and writing a journal, etc. No, not at all. I'm telling you, I'm not that girl, okay? I mean, I can be. Sometimes. If I really tell myself I'm gonna be that girl today, then I can be. But I usually am not. I'm all about keeping this realistic, so no need to worry. Even though my routine is not that picture perfect, I feel like I have a really solid weekends routine at this point. So today, I want to dive deep into the nitty-gritty of my weekends routine and how constructed it is. I'm going to share with you everything that works for me, how I kickstart my morning, how I stay motivated throughout the day and organized, etc. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's start out with waking up. I typically wake up at 8 a.m. on a normal day. When I'm feeling really rested, I wake up around 7 to 7:30, which is somewhat unusual for me because if I wake up too early in the morning, I'm sort of feel the pain, It's painful. Waking up early on weekends is absolutely painful, I'm not gonna lie. I might keep my legs in the air and ask myself do I really have to get up this early, even on weekends? Not the ideal scenario, but it is what it is. The moment that I open my eyes is when my day begins. Well, I mean, obviously, every day is different. There are some days when I'm drunk the night before, or extremely sleep deprived, or I'm just really tired and I just want to take the whole day off, I let myself sleep. I totally let myself sleep until 9 to 10 a.m. probably. But majority of the time, I try to be up by 8, latest. And personally, I find that waking up 8 a.m. at this point of my life is what works for me. The reason why I prioritize wake up early, even though it can be tough and painful, is because for me personally, there's something about getting up early makes me so motivated. It really fires me up in the morning. I feel like I have accomplished already and I'm sort of proud of myself in general, so I do prioritize that. But don't get me wrong, just because I wake up early doesn't mean that I'm done sleeping that day. If I get really tired during the day, I totally am down to take a nap if I need one. However, starting the day early helps me get my work done faster, period. So first thing I do when I wake up, I usually wake up pretty thirsty, so I go to the kitchen and probably chunk some water. Well, I actually rinse my mouth first because that would be kind of gross if I didn't, right? So rinse my mouth first and chunk some water. Then I take my supplements. Well, I'm not a big fan of supplements, but there are a few that I absolutely swear by, which is number 1, vitamin C. Must. Number 2, rutin. Must for my eyes health. Number 3, probiotics. That's pretty much it. So after I take my vitamins, I take out the water bottle from the fridge and fill up my Stanley cup. Now listen, I mentioned the last episode that I got my first Stanley cup for probably $40, I believe. If you don't know what it is, Google Stanley cup. It's basically a massive cup, probably 40 ounces, that keeps your eyes frozen for up to 11 to 12 hours. Apparently, I'm not 100% sure about that because I've never tested myself, but it does keep my water cold for a really long period of time, that's for sure. It's simply a cup that has a straw coming out the top, handle on this side so you can easier carry around, despite the fact that it's quite hefty. But the thing is, I have used it every single day ever since. I kid you not. It's literally become my best friend, So every morning I fill it up with a new, fresh, ice-cold water straight from the fridge, and I sip on it all day long. I'm not a big soda person. I don't drink a lot of sweet, savory beverages. I usually am just consistently drinking water, and this massive Stanley cup follows me throughout the day and helps me stay hydrated and refreshed. And I also truly enjoy the way that it keeps my water cold. It is such an enjoyable experience, I'll say. And I never leave a house without it. Once I'm done my old morning rituals, I'll say, I just shove in a quick stretching whenever I can fit before I jump into the breakfast. So I roll on my yoga mat on the floor, looking up on Pinterest or YouTube, and do a little 10 to 15 minute full body morning stretching. That helps me kind of energize myself to kickstart my day. After finishing my morning stretching, I have a breakfast right away. I am a breakfast person. I think about breakfast all the time. I like other meals, but I think breakfast is definitely my favorite. So a typical breakfast in the day, I like a little avocado toast. I will do an egg. I really love eggs. So I usually make either scrambled eggs or fried eggs. I don't like them runny. Fun fact, any runny egg yolk out of here. So 2 overhard eggs, salt on it, pepper on it, everything but the bagel seasoning on it. And then I take out this little frying pan, slathering it with butter, toasting a slice of wheat bread. And then from there, I usually get a little avocado, put it on top of the wheat bread, slide the egg on top, and then top it up with a little red pepper flake. And sometimes if I'm feeling fancy, I'll add a little sriracha, but just depends on the taste bud. And if I don't do that, I usually just do like a Greek yogurt and maybe some nuts on top, like a peanut, walnut, cashew, whatever. And if I'm feeling really crazy, I sprinkle some matcha powder on top. So it's basically a matcha Greek yogurt, which is so delicious. Speaking of, on weekdays, I usually meal prep overnight oats with the oat milk, frozen blueberries, nuts, protein powder, and I just leave it in the fridge, and I get up in the morning, I gobble that. Quick and efficient, and the most nutritious breakfast ever. Also recently, I've been enjoying this egg fried peanut butter toast. Really, egg and peanut butter? Great combination. Don't know why people are really talking about this, and I'll eat it, and it just get me right, you know? When I take a bite, it's like a comfort food that hits all the right spot. So that's my go-to as well. Oh, on that note of breakfast, I have to mention this. It's my cheat meal. It's my cheat breakfast meal. It's just this like giant, massive, amazing stack of pancakes with just fruit and maple syrup. But it's only twice a week. Out of coffee and tea, I am 100% more a coffee person. Honestly, tea is boring, dare I say. I mean, no offense. Maybe I haven't even tried a good one yet, but I am a huge coffee drinker. I actually go to sleep excited about my coffee in the morning. In the morning, I usually take my coffee hot and black, or sometimes I put in oat milk. But the thing is, I trying to not drink coffee on an empty stomach. However, I'm addicted, which is why I make it after breakfast. So when I'm at home, I'm making coffee. I'm using my mocha pot every single day, which is so underrated. It's been a year since I become a baddie with my mocha pot, and ever since I got it, I've truly been enjoying my coffee making process because it is so low maintenance. Okay, let me tell the back of the story how I got into this and move on, because I can just talk about coffee all day long, right? So I don't know if you guys remember, but since the pandemic started, the at-home cafe trend was really having a moment in Korea. It took off. It really took off. It's been a thing. Everyone seemed to have their own coffee machine and was enjoying their coffee at home, which got me thinking like, what if I want to hop on that as well? What if I get my own coffee machine? Is this a sign? Maybe, who knows? Honestly, I don't know what it was, but I just don't want to fall behind the trends, and I really want to give it a shot. So I bought it. I bought a capsule machine. I mean, I've actually gone to a couple of machines, but none of them have really satisfied me. I mean, yeah, it's convenient. You can brew your coffee in a minute or less. Plus, much cheaper than going to a cafe, right? But for me personally, any espresso from cashew machines doesn't taste that great. The flavor is mediocre, like too mediocre to the point where it's almost too bland to me. I don't know, maybe I chose the wrong capsule, but I've always had a lot of resistance to things like that. I like strong coffee. That's my preference. So every time I brew my coffee, I end up using 2 or 3 capsules for 1 cup. But if you really think about it, they'll defeat the purpose because ultimately, the actual purpose of making your own coffee at home is saving your money, right? But if I'm using 4 to 5 capsules a day, like I might as well go to cafe, like hello. So I realized that the capsule machine is not sustainable. So I sold it. I sold all of them. But then one day, I stumbled upon a mocha pot online. As soon as I discovered it, I immediately hooked on it because it looks so cute, it looks so aesthetic, they come in cute colors, plus it seems they're super easy to use. So I directly added my wish list and I waited. I waited until my trip to Italy, and once I arrived, I purchased a few of them. One for myself and one for my family. And you know what? It turned out to be the best decision ever. It's a complete game changer. I mean, it saves so much time and trouble, especially when it comes to cleaning. You don't have to go through like 15 cleaning steps like the other machines on a regular basis. Once you're done, just rinse it with hot water and let it dry. How simple is that, right? It is a freaking miraculous. I am obsessed. I kind of want to buy a backup in different colors to, kind of expand my collection. After breakfast, I brush my teeth and it's time to do a little bit of cleaning. I just kind of do some chores that have been on my mind for a while, but I haven't gotten a chance to. Normally at this point, I like putting on some podcasts, like random podcasts or some slow jazz music in the background to help kind of elevate the process of doing chores. Basically what I do is I do the dishes, wiping the floor, vacuuming, or maybe I go through my fridge and clean out the whole thing. Or sometimes I might reorganize a drawer that I've been thinking about for a long time, whatever. And I try to get as many of those done as I can. I just find that doing some chores, doing some mindless chores in general, it just makes me feel so good. Like nothing feels better than starting up the day with a fresh clean slate. After I finish my cleaning, I can finally get my started, which means I'm probably going straight to the computer and embark on the work mode. I like to get my work done in the morning so I feel much more accomplished at the end of the day. A lot of what I've been doing right now is obviously my podcast, prepping for it, brainstorming, jotting down any topics that pop up in my head, recording it. But here's the thing. I have a tendency to procrastinate when a task requires too much thinking. Like if tasks require a little brain power, I have no problem getting it done immediately. But when it comes to brainstorming for my podcast, and if I'm choosing a very complex topic that demands deep analysis and contemplation, I often find myself procrastinate getting started. So in order to work on a podcast like that, I really gotta bring my A game here. Like I need to be fully concentrated. So I basically take advantage of my morning hours when my brain is kind of awake and fresh and engaged to truly invest myself in my work, if that makes sense. So the thing that takes the most mental energy for me always comes first, because obviously my motivation to work goes down and down and down throughout the day. So it's easier to start out with the harder stuff and then end off the easier stuff. After I get a decent chunk of work done, it is time to take a little break. If I'm in the mood to do something on my phone, I might just sit on the couch and scroll through Instagram or YouTube. Or sometimes I might just lay down the bed and close my eyes and rest in silence. I've actually had an epiphany somewhat recently that simply just sitting around doing nothing and being bored, it's so magical. Because really, I come up with some of my best ideas laying in bed, staring at the ceiling for hours on it. I come up with some of my best ideas sitting at my couch, zoning out for seconds. I know that this sounds really weird, but I always come up with the best ideas that way. And, obviously, probably wasn't my podcast. So it works for me. It truly works for me. And I really value this time. Well, sometimes I take a nap, but if I'm not in the mood for a nap, I watch some TV show on Netflix. Fun fact, I never get into Korean stuff. Like any K-dramas or reality dating shows, comedy show, whatever. Just not my cup of tea. I'm more of a reality show type of person. Also, I love watching things I've already watched before. I don't mind, to be honest. Because I don't feel a lot of desire watching new things, which is why I don't watch a lot of movies. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that they can be too time consuming for one, but for two, I don't like to start things that I can finish. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, whenever I start something on Netflix, I end up leaving it half finished. Always. All the time. I know it's a problem, but I can help it. What I've been watching recently, I've actually started rewatching Selling Sunset. I absolutely adore the show. I'm a realistic girly, if I'm being honest. I'm always interested in real estate, especially in hills, Hollywood Hills, Beverly Hills, whatever. So I've already finished the whole season, but I really don't mind watching them again because that's my go-to show. Also, I just finished the season 2 of Selling Osi as well. That was freaking fun. See, I love drama. I love drama, but I don't want drama in my real life. See, that's the whole different story, right? But I love watching dramatic show because I find it entertaining. Oh, the other day, I went on a binge watching a documentary of Depp and Her's trial. Incredibly entertaining. I mean, I invested. I totally invested. See, now at this point, I like watching stuff that's lighthearted because I've already finished the harder stuff for the day, so it's mainly just like stuff to do on my computer and have a little second cup of coffee or third cup of coffee and just chill and relax. That's what I want for my break. When lunchtime rolls around, I don't usually cook lunch for myself. Lunch for me is a neglected meal, okay? Like, I don't think about it much, and sometimes just skip it or alter to late lunch / early dinner. But if I do, I always go for a sandwich. I am sucker for sandwich. It's what makes me feel happy and good. And so lately, there's this one place that I always get a sandwich for lunch. It's called 뚜레쥬르. Love a good sandwich from 뚜레쥬르. And I will usually get an egg tuna sandwich and then a nice coffee. Just regular iced Americano. It is so delicious. What is doing for lunch? Oh, I do love salads. I know that's so boring, like who craves salad, right? But I love a good cake salad with like a chicken breast or salmon. But here's the thing about my salads. I like a lot of dressing. Sometimes I even do ranch. I know it's bad. It's kind of my guilty pleasure, but it's great. Ranch is great. Ranch is best thing ever. Mayonnaise? Love it. Mustard? To die for. Honestly, unpopular opinion. Mustard is sometimes better than ketchup. I'm sorry. Like, very unpopular opinion, but I love mustard. Anyway, here's the issue. I never found the authentic salads at a reasonable price in Korea. All the salads here are way overpriced for a regular portion. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a real shame because I love to include salads in my regular diet, but I can't find any good ones here so far. So that's the part of the reason why I don't eat salads that often. And I'm kind of looking forward to trying good ones when I travel overseas. And then around 4 to 5 p.m., it's time for the next round of work. At this point in the day, I'm usually kind of exhausted or my food coma really kicks in. But I know that there are a few things I need to get done. I mainly focus on studying English first, so if I have some brain power left, I might catch up on an online class that I've been procrastinating all week. However, if I can't bring myself to sit at my desk and study, I'll probably grab my laptop and head to the living room where I'll watch some YouTube, like a English YouTube, or listen to podcasts, whatever, you get the idea? You know what's a cool thing about the fact that Spotify offers video episodes on podcasts, which can be a really great resource for English learners because you can not only hear the hostess speaking, but simultaneously you can see there all the gestures and facial expressions, and that makes it much easier to soak up all the English. So that's always an option for me. Alternatively, I might work on editing my podcasts. You know, the editing can be very time consuming, so I try not to put it off and get the work done as quickly as I can. And then for dinner, because I usually wait to eat lunch later, so I'll probably do something just like a little lighter, but I really try not to order food for delivery because I like to keep that for special occasions when my friends come over, or if I had a really, really long day and I don't have any willpower to cook, for, it's just like a fun little hour. I don't crave a lot of meat, so I substitute with fish. But don't get me wrong, I'm not a vegan nor a vegetarian, I just don't crave meat in general. So my dinners that I cook myself are pretty boring for the most part because I'm not much of a cook, to be honest. I'm actually pretty bad at it. But if I do have to cook for myself, I might have like a sort of stir-fry situation where I just like to throw all the bunch of veggies like onions, green onions, broccoli, and chicken breast, whatever, and then drizzle some sesame oil and put some fried eggs on top, and then final touch, sprinkle some seaweed. That's my go-to recipe. I also love bone broth. Recently, I'm back in my bone broth phase. It's been a while. A few days ago, my dad sent me some frozen bone broth packs, so I took one of them, boiled it, and added a little pinch of salt and pepper. And then, don't forget the green onions. They're essential, for sure. And I enjoyed it with a side of white rice and kimchi. And I gobbled it. I gobbled it all the time. Or sometimes I really love to make a tteokbokki, so I might go to the grocery store and pick up some other ingredients and make it from scratch. So that's always an option. Or sometimes I really enjoy pasta, so I make that occasionally. Like, possibilities are endless here. There was a time where I was making quesadilla for the first time. It turned out pretty good. It wasn't awful. I ate it. Again, I'm not a great chef, but I'm going to continue to push myself to get better, if that makes sense. Once I get my work done and my dinner, like everything, it's gonna be around 6 to 7 p.m. I believe, and it's time for my workout. Personally, adding movement to my daily routine is the most important thing. Especially if you're 9 to 5 and spend the most of the day sitting in your desk, it is crucial. I tend to do 1 of 2 types of workout. Either do really intense weight training where I'm like deadlifting, doing bridges, doing lunges, doing abs, like everything. I like the vibe a lot for some reason. Or when I'm in the mood to take it easy on my body, I'll probably do Pilates. In fact, Pilates is really intense as well. It's brutal. It's really brutal. It's not as easy as it may seem, but it truly helps improve my flexibility and keeps me in shape. I like working out more than 9. I try to work out 4 to 5 times a week, but you know what, we do can. So here's my typical workout routine. Starting off with a 20 to 30 minutes of cardio to kind of warm up my body. And then the second half of it is fully dedicated to weight training. Recently, I've incorporated dumbbell exercise into my routine to sort of, strengthen my hamstrings, arms, and pelvic muscles, like all the right spots. Doesn't it intense? Sure it is. It absolutely intense, but I'm pushing myself to get through it. And once I'm done my workout, I feel amazing. I'm sweaty, I release my endorphins. My anxiety feels somewhat better. I feel rewarded. I feel more calm and relaxed. And I'm happy. So I think exercise is the best medicine that you could ask for. So it's a big part of my life for sure. After my workout, I immediately hop on the shower. I brush my teeth, put on my hair mask, wash my face. Finally wash my face. I'm a big believer in double cleansing. Even if I don't put on my makeup, I always stick to double cleansing. So first step, I always go in with an oil cleanser, 2 pumps in my hands, warm it up, rub over my face, and then rinse it off. I started oil cleansing at the beginning of the pandemic, and I have never looked back. It has significantly changed my skin. So next, I'm gonna go in my second step of cleansing is foam cleanser. I actually have a little gadget, like a vibrating silicone brush, cleansing silicone brush. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but it is a game changer. It really does great job of deep cleansing. Because I often feel like my fingers alone don't clean enough for some reason. So I use a silicone brush along with a creamy cleanser. I typically love like a creamier milky cleanser because it feels so nice and hydrating, which I love. Then last but not least, guess what? Exfoliant. I always make sure to complete my cleansing with an exfoliant. Once I got out of the shower, I put on my body oil and put back on my pajamas, and then I get into the night skincare routine. Now this around the time is my free-for-all time. It's my me time, okay? So this is when I motivate myself using whatever type of entertainment I want. I might listen to a podcast and I find like super interesting, like a entertainment news podcast, pop culture news podcast, Hollywood news podcast, whatever. So it may not be particularly educational in some ways, but it's still entertaining. So I might listen to that while I'm doing my skincare routine. I don't have a elaborate skincare routine like some other influencers with like 15 plus steps. I always keep it simple. So my first step is using a toner pad. I always make sure to wipe my face after cleansing. Because I don't know if you guys relate to this, but sometimes cleansing alone may not be that sufficient, which is why I use a toner pad to remove all the dust and residues, leftovers, whatever. Next, I'm going to apply a moisturizer. I love applying this over my toner when the toner is still a little bit damp as well. I just feel like half the product absorbs so nicely. I like to go a little harder on the hydration at night because that's the time where I really like my skin is resetting and rejuvenating. And then, last but not least, lip treatment. Lip care is skincare, so you cannot neglect and forget your lips. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. It only took me like 5 minutes. I tend to go to bed anywhere between 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Like, it just depends. On weekdays, it's typically between 10 p.m. to midnight. I actually have a bedtime ritual, which is no phone allowed. As soon as I get into bed, I charge my phone and stay away from it. Obviously, it did take a lot of discipline initially, but over time, I've kind of gotten used to it, and now I hardly use my phone. I also set my phone to do not disturb mode, which means I kind of establish a boundary between myself and my phone. This is so important for me because if I were to stay on my phone, watching meaningless random YouTube videos or Instagram reels, I'll probably stay up until 2 or 3 a.m., which absolutely ruins my whole sleep schedule. Also, another risk further is, as I mentioned earlier, for someone with a 9 to 5, getting enough sleep sets a tone for the rest of my day, and I prioritize that. And that's it. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys got something out of this, or at least just had some fun getting to know me better. Honestly, I don't know who gives a shit about my weekends routine. Like, literally, no one asked for this. But, As long as it brought you some enjoyment or motivation, that's all that matters. If you enjoyed this episode, tune into Love Being Alone every Thursday. And I just appreciate you listening and hang out every week. It's always a pleasure. You can check out Love Being Alone Instagram and Love Being Alone by Lynn. You can check me out on Instagram, YEXLINX. Make sure to subscribe free on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, wherever else. Hope you're having an amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you around. Bye.